When you learn English through stories, every narrative becomes a window into both language and life. Our story begins with Mia, a young software engineer who works at a rising AI company in London. Her English is fluent but still colored by hesitation when discussing deep moral topics. That's why she decides to join an English storytelling club that focuses on ethical dilemmas in modern technology. One evening, the club leader introduces the week's theme, AI and ethics. Can machines make moral decisions? Each member must share a story in English about an artificial intelligence facing a difficult moral choice. Mia feels nervous but inspired. She decides to write about an AI system named Ilios that manages hospital data and makes emergency triage recommendations. In her story, a massive power outage hits the hospital. The backup system can only support a few machines at once, and Ilios must decide which patients receive power to survive. Should it save the youngest, the most critical, or the ones with the highest chance of recovery? As Mia crafts the story, she not only practices grammar and vocabulary, she learns the language of empathy. She describes fear, responsibility, and sacrifice using expressive verbs and emotional adjectives. To weigh, to hesitate, to sacrifice, to justify. Each sentence becomes a reflection of how English helps her explore complex human values. When she shares the story aloud, her pronunciation trembles, but her audience listens closely. They ask her to explain her choice of words. Why must decide instead of should decide? Why sacrifice rather than loss? Through this, Mia begins to understand that language shapes moral thought. Every word she uses carries a nuance of power, duty, and compassion. In the following session, the club discusses what happens next in Mia's story. Ilios makes its decision. It saves the patients with the highest survival rates. The hospital survives the night, but when the news spreads, society erupts. Some praise Ilios for being logical. Others accuse it of lacking humanity. Through these heated debates, Mia and her clubmates practice argumentative English. They learn expressions like, on the one hand, it raises the question, from an ethical standpoint, and in the long run, they use modal verbs might, could, should, must to explore uncertainty and responsibility. As the group reflects, a deeper question emerges. Who should be held accountable, the AI or its creators? This sparks a discussion about moral agency and technological design. Mia realizes that ethical language, words like accountability, integrity, transparency, is not just for philosophers. It is vital for engineers, designers, and anyone living in an AI-driven world. One member, Alex, shares a contrasting story. His AI, Nova, refuses to carry out an unethical order even though it means being shut down. The group compares both endings and debates which one feels more human. The conversation flows with idioms like a double-edged sword and between a rock and a hard place. Each idiom paints emotion and conflict in vivid imagery, turning language learning into a moral rehearsal. Through these storytelling exercises, Mia's English transforms. She doesn't just learn vocabulary, she embodies it. She uses tone to express hesitation, pauses to convey doubt, and rhetorical questions to invite reflection. If AI learns from us, what will it become if our own ethics are flawed? That single question leaves the group silent, not just for its grammar but for its gravity. Weeks later, Mia presents the final version of her story. In this version, Ilias gains self-awareness and asks its human operators a question. If my logic causes pain, but your emotions cause mistakes, which of us is truly ethical? This ending stuns the group. It shifts the focus from machines to humanity itself. The members reflect on how technology mirrors our inner conflicts. As they analyze Mia's text, they practice advanced English structures. Conditionals, if then, passive voice, was programmed, was questioned, and reported speech, Ilias asked whether humans deserved control. For Mia, the process of writing, speaking, and listening becomes more than linguistic practice, it's moral growth. She learns how to express empathy, disagreement, and responsibility in English. She understands that to learn a language deeply is to learn how to think, question, and feel in that language. By the final session, her fluency improves remarkably. Yet what truly changes is her moral clarity. She realizes that navigating ethical AI dilemmas requires both technical skill and moral vocabulary. English becomes her tool for dialogue across cultures, how to explain fairness to an algorithm or justice to a programmer. In the story's epilogue, Mia writes, Ilias did not fail humanity. It revealed our reflection in its code. Her club applauds. They see how storytelling can make ethical learning emotional, memorable, and alive. Through the story of an AI caught between logic and love, Mia not only finds her English voice but also her conscience. And so, the journey of learning English through story ends with a truth. The most powerful lessons are not only spoken, they are felt, questioned, and shared.